An inherited individual retirement account, IRA, comes into existence using the assets from an IRA or an employer sponsored retirement plan after the original account holder has passed away. It's important to note that you cannot contribute additional funds to this account once you inherit it. Furthermore, you must adhere to specific distribution requirements, which vary depending on your age and your relationship with the deceased. Hi, I'm Ivory Hecker for Noble Gold News. In this video, let's delve deeper into understanding the inherited IRA 10-year rule. We will explore the following: grasping the concept of the inherited IRA 10-year rule, how the 10-year rule operates, key considerations within the 10-year rule, and effective strategies for maximizing the benefits of the inherited IRA 10-year rule. First, let's talk about the basics of inherited IRA. The inherited IRA 10-year rule pertains to the handling of assets within an IRA when the original account holder passes away and the account is transferred to the designated beneficiary. For certain beneficiaries, such as non-spouses, the entire balance must be withdrawn within a 10-year period following the previous owner's demise. Spousal beneficiaries who inherit an IRA have an alternative choice to consider. There are exceptions applicable to beneficiaries who meet specific criteria. Importantly, the 10-year rule is applicable to those who have inherited an IRA on or after January 1st of 2020. The inherited IRA 10-year rule ushers in a transformation in how this type of account transitions from one account holder to another. It was introduced through the Secure Act, which was enacted in December of 2019 and came into effect January 1st of 2020. Senior estate planner at True Point Wealth Counsel in the Cincinnati metropolitan area, David J. Bross, said, quote, "The most significant change was the duration within which a non-spouse beneficiary has to withdraw the assets from the retirement account. Before the Secure Act, a non-spousal beneficiary could take an annual required minimum distribution, RMD, from the account calculated based on their life expectancy. However, the Secure Act replaced the life expectancy-based distribution method, necessitating the complete withdrawal of funds from the account within a 10-year time frame. Bross said, quote, "For all distributions from a retirement account to qualify as ordinary income to the beneficiary, this implies that the beneficiary will be liable for income tax on the entire value of the retirement account during that 10-year period. This eliminates the beneficiary's ability to keep the retirement account funded for their lifetime to ensure long-term tax-free growth." How does the 10-year rule work? If you happen to be the beneficiary of an IRA, it's crucial to determine whether the 10-year rule is applicable to your situation. You can begin by considering the timing of when you received the IRA assets. For non-spouse beneficiaries who meet the specific criteria and have inherited an IRA on or after January 1st of 2020, it is mandatory to withdraw the funds within a 10-year period. However, it's important to note that there are several exceptions to this rule. The 10-year rule does not come into play if you belong to any of the following categories: the IRA owner's surviving spouse, the IRA owner's minor child, or an individual who is not more than 10 years younger than the IRA owner. Also, a disabled or chronically ill person as determined by the IRS. Also, however, once a minor child reaches the age of maturity, they become subject to the 10-year rule. Here are the factors to consider in the 10-year rule. Spouses who inherit an IRA face some important choices. In most cases, it's advisable for spouses to treat the inherited IRA as if it's their own. Alternatively, they can decide to open a separate inherited IRA and transfer the assets into it with the requirement to withdraw the funds within a 10-year period. If the deceased spouse was taking required minimum distribution, RMDs, from a traditional IRA at the time of their death, the surviving spouse must take the RMD for the year of the deceased's passing. if it hasn't been taken already. Otherwise, the surviving spouse can wait until they reach the age when they are required to start taking RMDs from the account. However, if the surviving spouse is under 59 and a half years old and needs funds from the IRA, they may choose to open an inherited IRA and begin taking distributions. It's important to note that taking distributions from their own account before the age of 59 and a half may result in a 10% penalty. The timing of the original account owner's death is a crucial factor in determining the next steps. If the IRA was inherited in 2020 or later and there are no exceptions applicable, the funds must be withdrawn within 10 years of inheriting the IRA. For deaths occurring on or before December 31st, 2019, the previous rules for inherited IRAs remain in effect, allowing non-spouse beneficiaries to take RMDs based on their life expectancy. How do you optimize the inherited IRA 10-year rule? If you inherit a traditional IRA with contributions that have been made with pre-tax dollars, withdrawals are subject to taxes. Roth IRAs are funded with after-tax dollars, and withdrawals are typically not subject to tax. With inherited IRAs, you won't face some of the same penalties that apply to other types of IRAs. For example, there's often a 10% penalty if you take a distribution from a traditional IRA before the age of 59 and a half, but you can withdraw money from a traditional inherited IRA prior to this age without facing a penalty. One thing you can invest in is gold and silver. If you must liquidate your funds in 10 years, gold will freeze the value of your wealth by the time that you need to liquidate it. In almost every recession, the value of gold has gone up. Its inverse relationship to the market has made it a favorite of billionaires and central banks. With gold, your inheritance won't lose its value. Consider gold. Invest in gold now.